talking about energy poverty, we are involved. We are both involved in the Enlit roundtable for the October. First of all, I would like to know your experience about energy poverty, and then we can also probably share some point of view about.
I'm Stefan. Basically I'm a social worker. I'm a community worker, and I work for an organization in which we try to find structural solutions for problems of people in poverty or people who experience exclusion from society. And I've been working for the last 8 years on the subject of energy poverty. So my main subject is energy poverty and fighting energy poverty. And my experience is, I have experience in doing house visits to people in energy poverty and seeing how their experience is, how they live with energy poverty, how is their housing conditions, how are they socially, and then what I try to do is together with local social welfare, we try to find solutions how they can help these people, what they should be doing, how the people can, what can the people do themselves. And we also do lobby work to Flemish government to have new measurements specifically aimed at these people, to try to eradicate energy poverty if possible, or to help them in the most in a way that is helping the people themselves forwards.
Okay, but also in Italy, we are working with my magazine, and we have funded an alliance about energy poverty. Also because we saw that there are a lot of projects that are focused on, but sometimes they don't talk each other, and sometimes they make some research that are really useful and that could help some other work that it's going on. But unfortunately, if they don't match it, we lose time, because probably we have some information, more information that we are that we think that we have. Did you find the same? No problem, but of course the same difficulty to be also connected. Probably because everyone don't understand that we have a similar problem. Of course, different climate. So could be that we can have some problem in summer and that you have more problem in winter, I suppose. But there are different probably different moment or different target, but we can find something that is similar, really similar, and probably we can help each other if we can share better this information, because it's difficult to find a way to obtain our targets, so help these people.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. What we try to do from our organization has been active on the field of energy poverty for the last 20 years. And we were Belgium is a difficult country because we have the federal level and then we have the community levels. So our organization works on the Flemish part of Belgium. And most energy poverty rules are in those communities, so in the Flemish community, and a few are on the federal level. So we in Flanders, our specific role is we're one of the only organizations to have direct contact for over 20 years with the people themselves. The people experience energy poverty, but we can't, of course, fight alone against energy poverty. We need partners, and then we in Flanders and on the Belgian level, we have networks. We work together with the government, with the suppliers, with the distributor of energy, with other social organizations. So we are in a network. Then we are in a Belgian network with the French-speaking parts of Belgium to see on a federal level what can we do. And then in the recent years, since I became active on the energy poverty, we have also been active with other European countries to see how can we learn from each other. Like I have good contacts with people in Rome, but also in Barcelona or in France or in the UK. So we try to see what can we learn from each other, and how can we either help or address to the European Commission what they should be doing on energy poverty. So yeah, I think partnerships are very important.
You were involved in ASSIS together, probably.
Yes, I was involved. I was one of the for Flanders. I was one of the house visitors, doing the house visits to people. But yes, we were in ASSIS, like with IIs for in Roma, or with the Spanish people.
We follow too much the program because I find that it could be really interesting the figure of the role of the energy tutor. In effect, what we found that is really difficult to help people to learn how can they spend less money in their domestic consumption, because in effect one of the problems is that the energy poverty are the most the people that use in the worst way the energy. it's incredible, but
yeah.
it is. How much you improve the efficiency in the house of the energy poverty, and if you find that these things is going to be time by time more quickly, probably because was not easy understand when we start, probably, but then you learn how to improve this and help easier people. And in case, what's your recipe?
Okay, so Papillon is when I did house visits to people as being a tutor in helping these people. I experienced myself that these people were using old appliances with a high energy consumption, and since we have high electricity prices here in my region, it was for them very expensive to have like an old fridge or an old freezer to have it running. And then we because the people I work with are people in poverty, so they don't have budget to buy a new energy efficient like freezer or a washing machine. So I tried to find a way so that they could have this new machine which is energy efficient, so they could drop their consumption and their energy bills. And basically what we did was we set up a partnership with the manufacturer Bosch, in which we give them, those people, for 10 years an appliance, and they rent it on a monthly basis. And it's inside circular economy. So they can have a 10-year contract, and if something needs to be repaired, it's in the monthly payment that people are paying. So they pay a very small amount of money, and they are having energy efficient appliances, and it raises their comfort of living. So what do we do is we see that if people have old appliances which are I measured a fridge, and it was using 1,200 kilowatt hours a year, that only one freezer, and the new one uses only 200 kilowatt hours. So they can reduce the energy consumption with 1,000 kilowatt hours which in my region for them is more than 300 euros on a year they can save. So that's basically what we're doing with Papillon. We have the different household appliances. People can rent them on a 10-year basis, and it's service and guarantee included. And it makes that people are spending now less money, even if they have to pay the monthly fee for the appliance, but they are spending less money because they are reducing their energy bills.
It helps also for the circular economy, I think, because in this way you
Yes.
can control the line, and no one used to put the fridge in the street. I think now after the
it's totally inside circular economy with the company Bosch. So after 10 years, the appliances will all return to Bosch, and they will see then what's the most sustainable solution for the appliances. It could be that the appliances are refurbished and they go for another 5 years in a rental contract, or they can be used for spare parts for the other appliances, or if there's no solution for the appliance, they will be recycled along the most high standards of recycling in Europe.
Do you think that to do that, it's useful to have an enterprise near you? Because I think you talk about Bosch, for example. So I think
Yes.
You need to not be alone. You need to involve also an enterprise or more than one.
Yeah. So you need a producer of appliances who is that crazy that he doesn't want to sell his appliance. He wants to rent them out. But we found this manufacturer Bosch. They are active in over the whole world. So also in different countries in Europe. So we have this pilot project which has been running now for 2 years. So we are 2 years far in the 10-year contracts with the people, and now we are. Like at the end of this year, we'll scale up to 500 more appliances, but not only in the region where I work, the small region of Flanders, but over the whole of Flanders. But this can be reproduced in other European countries, of course, with different prices.
In your experience with the Italian partner, do you think that Italy could be a place to reproduce this model? Because I think that sometimes could be, but sometimes could be difficult. And then we change topics, I promise.
Yeah, well, it depends on you have to change a few aspects. So it depends on the electricity price people are paying in Italy. I'm not aware how expensive it is. Yeah, okay. So the more expensive it is to use energy, the more profit people can make by switching appliances from one that consumes a lot to one that's energy saving. For it's just basic economics. If you spend a lot of money on the electricity bill for that one appliance, when you replace it by one that consumes much lesser energy, you will be spending less money on the electricity for that one appliance. And so we look at the total cost of ownership, and if you have a very high electricity price, it makes that you can make profits by changing appliance. And the circular economy, so the product as a service, makes it for people affordable to make. Like I have an income. I don't live in energy poverty, so I can go to a shop and I can buy a energy saving appliance, and I can save money by doing so in like 2, 3, 4 years. But if you don't have the money to buy a new appliance, then renting one through this Papillon model will make you able to save money.
to have a modern electrodomestic issue.
Yes, yes. And also it raises it not only makes you that you can save money on your electricity bill, but also it raises your living comfort. So I work in a rural area, so I have people who have to go to like a laundry to do their washing of the clothes. And now they can do it at home, so they save money, time also. I had people who had to use public transport to do their washings of the clothes, and now they can do it at home. I have people who are renting now freezers, and they are depending on food aid. So now with the same amount of food aid, they can do much longer time.
Different aspect in effect. So it's a change. You can permit in this way to change the quality of life in different way. It's true. I didn't talk about the food timing, food delivery. Now the freezer in effect could help you to store the same quantity, but don't lose anything. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Since we work together with the people themselves, for us it's important that if you talk about energy efficiency and having people making them have spending less energy, it's also important that they don't have less comfort for the same, because they won't be doing. You can't tell to people to like in winter to say you have to spend less energy, but this will mean that you will have more cold in the home. That doesn't make sense. People won't be spending less energy if they are cold. So you have to improve their comfort of living in order to be able to spend less energy or spend less money on this.
Okay. Thinking about the market, this roundtable. In the next day, we have this 2 roundtable inside the Enlit event, and I think this could be really interesting that by industry, because we have a lot of utility inside, IT, energy technology, industry, and that's really interesting. I think that they have a focus on energy poverty. It means that this topic is really high in the agenda. I think also of the industry side, because of course Enlit talk looking at the landscape by the eyes of the industry. Of course, it's not only politics scenario. It's an industry point of view. So what do you think about? Because I was really proud to be part of this, and I think that could be a start to a way to change the thing. As you say, we can think other model of business, of course, as the rent side that you show us.
Yes, well, of course, it's very interesting to see that industry is also picking up on the energy poverty aspect, because like normally we as social workers, or I as a social worker, when I work on poverty, I will be working with other social organizations, maybe with government, but industry would be sometimes even the devil to work with. But
it's your experience, of course, your point of view. It's clear. It's something.
Yeah, but for me, it's not. But for me, it's not the devil. It's a opportunity to find new solutions to tackle problems that are existing in society, and we have to see what's the strong points of industry and how we can use those strong points to tackle the social problem. What's the strong points of social organizations? What's the strong point of governments? And to work together to find a way to find solutions for social problems. So that's very interesting that industry is also picking up. And of course, it's also a way of looking at things. So, and I've heard on another in another event, I've heard that for industry, for like a supplier of energy, the cost of people who weren't able to pay their bills, that for every euro debt with people, a supplier has to invest like 6 or 7 euros to get that €1 back. So if you can make that people have less energy debts, it costs the industry less money to go after that debt. So if you can make that people are paying less for energy, that they have energy efficient appliances, that they all have good housing conditions, people, it will be easier to pay the bills, and industry will have to spend less money in getting after those bills. So that's why I think it's important to work together to see how can we all work together and find solutions for the best of the people themselves, of course.
I saw that in these two roundtable, the focus is energy efficiency, but also experience and also a way to talk with the people. What's the best way that you find to talk with the people and to help them to understand that they could improve your quality of life? You can go there and say, "Hey, you are poor."
Well, that's the well, in terms of money, it will be the most expensive way, but it's in terms of results, it's the best way, is to talk to the people themselves and to talk directly with them. So what works for me is doing house visits, to experience as a social worker myself, to experience what are the housing conditions of those people, to see myself, is there roof insulation or not, to experience with them why isn't there any roof insulation. Is it because the person who owns the home doesn't want to invest, or is it because the people themselves don't have the knowledge, or they don't know where to go to have roof installations? So, and it's the most expensive because you need people on the field going out to those people to do those house visits. But it's the most efficient because you talk from person to person, from human being to human being, and you try to find solutions working for those people. And sometimes you see that there isn't a solution, and that's when we have to go to either other parts, like mostly it would be government, and say we need a solution for this. But it could be also to go to the industry and say, like, hey, you need other business models to be able to go to these people. So yeah, that's
start one by one. You can understand better what is the better strategy for each one. And of course, you say sometimes it's enough to talk with of course, it's to simplify the issue, to talk with someone and give him some instruments. Sometimes we need some governmental instrument, and sometimes we need an industry different model of business. This is the three street, if I understand it, the three ways that you find.
Yeah, and of course, also you have what I see when I went to find people for the Papillon project. Really quickly, people do. I don't know the exact word in English, but it's the one person talking to other persons in the same situation, so their peers, and doing adverts for you by talking and saying, hey, that's a good project. They help me. You should also be so.
Word
really,
mouth. Word mouth.
Yes. One mouth talking to the others, and so when I would we have these for energy suppliers, the comparison sites. So when you help one person by showing them how to do it online or helping them, they on their part can show it to other people's, and so you have this multiplier effect.
Okay, it's butterfly effect in a good way.
Yes. So you don't have to go one by one because it would take a lot of time. But surely for these people, I work with people. Some people are very poor, have a lot of debts, and they are not the people that would go from their house and go to the town hall to ask for something because they are ashamed. They don't want to go out and tell I'm poor. I have lots of debt. So you have to go to them in order to try and help them, and first of all gain trust. So you that's why I said
they have to trust you to understand and to listen what you have to say. But then it's a good way to start and be pervasive in all the country, probably, because there it's hard to penetrate with your know-how, but then they could also help to be known by other, probably. So it's in the highest, the first step is highest than the other, but then it's easier. I think that is what you want to say.
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
It's really interesting. Last question by your side. What do you think that Europe can do? Because we talk about different business model, and I think that could be a way. We talk about knowledge, and it's really important. And we talk also about something that is higher than that. So we need the government side.
Yes.
Do you think that Europe have a chance to do something better than now, or not better, but more organized, more focused on this topic?
Yes. Well, I know that the European Commission and the European Council now in the new Green Deal, energy poverty is one of the topics, and also circular economy. What I find important is that the economical and the ecological aspects of this new Green Deal also go hand in hand with the social aspects. So that's why I set up this product as service for the appliances like Papillon. I set it up. I could be setting this up for middle class people, but I wanted to set it up for energy poor people, and to show that these new business models, this ecological thinking, that it also should have a social phase. It should be addressing also social problems and not only economical or ecological problems. So I think Europe should be, when they are promoting circular economy, it should not be only for the economical or the ecological aspects. It should also be for social aspects, and that the European level could be looking at. And first of all, I find this, but they are doing this already. They set up the European Observatorium for Energy Poverty. So they are saying to each of the member states, you as a country, you have to tell us how high is energy poverty in your country. So they are obliging the countries to measure energy poverty and to have some measurements and solutions to have in these member states. So that's important. And moreover, they could be even doing more. So I don't like the door-to-door selling of energy contracts. So they can have a ban on door-to-door selling of energy contracts. But yeah, mostly I think that there should be implementing the
Door-to-door is
social.
a problem also in Italy, don't worry.
Okay.
We know very well the problem because it's not always a good way to sell new contracts,
No,
but sometimes
no.
there are also other issues.
Yeah,
Like,
we have
so it's not easy. Also choose the right contract sometimes because they not always and not all, but a lot of don't tell you very exactly what we are going to spend. So you see something that is something else. It's not easy also in Italy door to door. I understand the point.
Okay. Also in Belgium, the ombudsman get a lot of complaints about door-to-door selling of energy contracts because they show you one thing, they show you how you can save money, but then they sell you a very expensive contract and not the cheapest contract for you.
Usually you can save money for the first 2 or 3 months, and then it's really expensive. It becomes really expensive. So
Yes.
that's the issue. You have to check every month the how much it costs. It's not easy. Also for me that I work in this area, it's not easy. You have not time to check every time, every month what is going on with your bill. Of course. No. And you have to remember to change it until one time. So it's not easy. Of course, if you are not really available of this issue, you have to be very focused to understand. So I get the problem. I'm not happy that it's also a problem in Belgium, of course, but sometimes it's also interesting to know that we are not alone in this one.
Now, so that should be something that is addressed on the European level, because I'm very well aware it's also in France a problem. It's also in the UK a problem. Of course, the UK, you have this Brexit, but it's everywhere where you have people who think they can make money by selling contracts to people who aren't able to be a well-aware customer or consumer, because it's a difficult, it's a technological and a difficult market. You have all these players, all these sorts of contracts. It's very difficult to find your own way in it.
In Italy, we are going to test the energy community also to help the energy poverty, because it could be a way to donate some energy that we have more energy on one side by renewable, the energy that it's unuseful for the moment for the necessity of the district. We can think to share it with who need it. And I saw that there is some other experience about some community in France about it. I think that is in your roundtable that. And I think that could be a really interesting model to also to use the smart city technology to improve the solidarity. I think also it's really interesting to look at the technology in this way. I don't know if in Belgium there is something that's going on this or we are thinking about.
Yeah, indeed. It is a very interesting topic, the energy community, and surely to see, can these communities also do something for energy poverty? Because, of course, the energy community itself will also be will be having a business model. They need to make profit in order to
of
be.
Course.
Yeah. So you have to see, but I find this very interesting to see what can be done there, and also surely if you take it on, I've like I said, I worked in a very rural area, and you have very small villages, but every village has a church, and what I'm thinking was, because churches are always built in the same way, they have a eastern-western orientation. So you have always one roof, part of the roof is on the south. So what if in the whole of Europe, what if all these roofs of the churches, if you have solar panels on them, and the energy is captured and used for the village itself? Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that also in Vatican they could appreciate this point of view.
Yeah, indeed.